All right, welcome y'all. So this is um last minute, but I already have my makeup on. I did a webinar with my good friend Jack for some government employees, and since my hair is already combed, my makeup is on, I might as well hit y'all in the head. So I want y'all to grab a pen and a piece of paper, because today we're going to be talking about thriving in uncertainty, how to make smart career moves under pressure. And I am Christy Rutherford, the greatest to ever do it in the land. Do what? Everything. So I got 3 points that I want to make today. Number one, the market doesn't determine your value, you do. Number two, don't look for a job, look for the job. And number three, take care of yourself, because burnout affects how you see yourself. So if you're here, hey, Regalia, if you're here, let me know if you can hear me. If the Wi-Fi goes out, I apologize in advance. It gets a little janky over here. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Here's the thing. So I've been talking to some women's groups over the past couple of weeks, professional women who should be high achieving women, who should be bad ASS women. I mean, that's what I'm assuming when I get in the room. That's what I'm assuming when I come into the room. When I'm invited to a room of exceptional women, I'm expecting exceptionalism. But no, when I get in the room, I see women who don't believe in themselves. I see women who don't understand who they are. I see women who forgot how great they are. And that's disheartening to me, because I want to talk about winning. And apparently we're on two different wavelengths. I wasn't supposed to be yelling, y'all. I promise y'all. I pray right before I get on these lines and be like, I'm going to act like I got some sense. And then somehow I get derailed. So here's the thing. I have legit been saying the same thing since 2020. My story has not changed. My beliefs have not changed. The times haven't really changed. So I want to take y'all back, maybe like 30 seconds. I want to take y'all back to 2020. Y'all forgot. I was conscious and aware of 2020. So I remember when y'all got locked up in the house fighting for toilet tissue, grocery stores, like, everything shut down, offices shut down, restaurants shut down, and you got locked in the house with your choices. You got locked in the house with the things that you may not have done good, and maybe that you had done good. Like the ish hit the fan in 2020, like a spike went up. And everybody wanted for 2021 to kind of like bring it down a little bit, but it never happened. It just got worse. And so then by 2022, y'all were like, all right, we waiting for it to go back to normal. I just want to take y'all back a little bit. Did you think in 2020, y'all really want, I'm just going to wait for things to go back to normal. I'm just going to wait till I go back into to work. I'm going to wait until, certain things happen. I'm going to wait. And so there was this spike in the ish hit the fan in 2020. Now that's normal. There is no, so now 2025 comes, y'all say it's a spike. No, it's just this. It's just a continuation of the story of limitations. It's the continuation of the story of uncertainty. It's the continuation of the story of fear. And I have talked to thousands, and when I say thousands of women, and some in 2020 were like, well, I'm just going to, put my nuts in a jar and I'm going to bury it in the sand and see what happens. And here we are 2025, and they got, high function anxiety, high functioning depression. I hope they still alive. Some of them, right? They were like, well, I'm just going to wait for things to go back to normal. Or I'm going to wait for a better time. And this ain't about investing in me, because we're good. This is about you claiming how great you are and waiting for a better time. The times have not gotten better. Like everybody wanted to wait. Everybody wanted to procrastinate. Everybody wanted to wait 2020, 2021, 2022 for a better time. Not a SHIT to hit the fan. And there are no good times, apparently, let y'all tell it. So now it's like women want to play safe in their jobs. You know, you want to, you know, not ask for a raise, or you don't want to ruffle any feathers, and you're being told that you should be lucky you have a job because everybody's being laid off. Y'all, that's the same thing that was said in 2020, 2021. So I want to share some insight on how do you take control of your thoughts and take control of your mind and take control of your life, because everybody's not going through it, right? Some people are going to get very prosperous over these times. You just have to determine if it's going to be you. So if you're joining me on LinkedIn or YouTube or any of the other channels, sorry, Instagram, but I will explain to y'all what I'm just sharing. So this was November 16th. My client's total comp was 256. She doubled her salary. November 16th, 2024. So she went from 125 to 256. But that's just the base. Top performers made $500,000. She's going to 4x her income this year. So she'll do $500,000 this year. So she went from $125,000 last year. She will do $500,000 this year. It's sales. No cap. She's excited. Now, how do we do that? Let's talk about it. She took a pay cut in 2019 for safety. She took a pay cut in 2019 for security. She took a pay cut to get an easy job because she was tired. In 2019, late 2019, 2020-ish hit the fan. She's a job that should have been temporary. She held on to it for safety. A job that should have been temporary until she caught her breath became her lifeline. A job that she took just to have a bridge to get the next good job became her job. Are y'all listening to me? I mean, am I talking to myself? Y'all got to let me. So then that job that should have been the bridge job to the better job became her job. 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. God fired her February 2024. Why? Because over 5 years, she forgot how great she was. Over 5 years, the high achieving, go-getter, passionate, I'm going to beat the brakes off of any quota that you put in front of me, became depressed. She forgot who she was. She was being harassed because she's an eagle over there flocking with chickens. She forgot who God designed her to be. She forgot how great she was. And that company laid her off. So when they laid her off in 2024, she forgot who she was in 2018. She became the conditions of the environment that she was in for most of the time, which was so far beneath her potential, it wasn't even funny. So now when she gets laid off, she forgot, y'all, she got laid off from a job that she took a pay cut for. So did we really 4x her salary? Oh, she's going to kill it this year because she's so excited. Or did we put her where she was supposed to be? And I give you that long story. The back end is like, have you been laid off, or are you afraid of losing a job, or where you shouldn't be anyway? Everybody's not being laid off. AI is not replacing every job. They had 2,000 people over there at JP Morgan talking ish. Jamie Dimon was like, I got 14,000 jobs open. 2,000, y'all don't want to be here. You want to sign a petition because you don't want to come into the office no more. I'm mandating y'all coming to the office. I got 14,000 jobs available. So I want to start to give y'all some clarity around, are you watching the media that is telling you to be afraid, or are you going to understand who you are and take control of your fate? That's the question. Are you going to continue to be afraid of losing a job where you don't belong anyway? And at what point are you going to take control of who you are and be like, you know what? Let me go make my money, because somebody gonna get paid in these times. And I want you to really ask yourself, is that going to be you? So the market doesn't determine your value, you do. The market doesn't tell you that you're going on sale. You do that to yourself. I talked to a woman earlier this year who advocated for everybody on her team to get a raise. She didn't advocate for herself. People that was on her team are now getting paid more than her. She thought that her boss should have advocated for her at the same rate that she advocated for other people, and then got mad. And they didn't. So when are you going to stop and take care of yourself? When are you going to stop looking at them and blaming them for what they're doing and say, what am I doing? How have I created this for myself? Did I take a job that should have been a bridge job and I tried to make it my job and hold on to it for safety? Companies will pay you at the awareness of how you see yourself. And so we can't keep getting mad that unqualified people who don't even work 10% as hard as you do continue to get promoted over you, to continue to get promoted and paid more than you, and you're not getting it, and you continue to be the victim. How do you have all of that education and intellectual property and experience, and you're a victim? How do you have all of that power and you're a victim? You know, I did practice before I got on here, just a little bit. I wrote down some notes, but I feel like this is story time, y'all. I talked to this lady last year. She inboxed me, and she's like, Christy, I need your help. And, I got all this experience and I feel like I'm being harassed in my job. And now I'm desperate and I need another job. And people won't hire me. And I'm mad about it because they're intimidated because I'm a strong Black woman. Sis. So I wrote her back. I said, they're not intimidated by you because of all of your degrees and backgrounds and the long scroll of your achievements, which are demonstrated. They're really surprised that you're desperate. That's the confusion. Did y'all pick up what I was putting down? Put yes. Did y'all get that? Put yes, please. I need to know y'all listening to me. They're not intimidated by your experience. It's long. All the degrees that you got. Sis, they not mad. They like that. They want that. They're confused because you're desperate. They're confused. How can a woman that's so great be so desperate? How can a woman that has 3 degrees, that got experience, that will trump anybody in this office? Why is this woman desperate? Pass. Nope. She can't come in here because clearly she doesn't know how great she is. And it is not their responsibility to resuscitate you and rehabilitate you. It is not the responsibility of a hiring manager to rehabilitate your brokenness and your unawareness of who you are. So I wrote her back and I said, they mad because you're desperate. She got mad, y'all. Mad, went off on me, wrote a dissertation, because clearly she's educated, on how wrong was I to say those things to her. How dare I do that? And how dare I say long? She wrote me like, I had to block this lady. And then I became her next persecutor. She probably talking about me to this day. I just tried to set you free, sis. One, I don't have time to be talking to people in my inbox. She should have watched my YouTube videos. Anyway, so that's why I stopped talking to people. People get mad. Are you desperate? Are you? No, nobody cares. This is savage. I'm gonna say it anyway. Nobody cares that you were a government employee at 25 years with 5 years left and just got laid off and had 30 minutes to collect your bags and leave. They don't care. Nobody cares that you've been laid off for 18 months and you down to your last $1,000. They don't care. You know what companies care about? Can you solve my problem? You know what companies care about? Can you solve my problem? You know what they'll do when you say, yes, I can solve your problems? And I know that I'm the greatest mother to ever do it in this land. They be like, my God. They will open the door and roll out the red carpet for you and invite you onto their teams. This is what we do. 9 women, 7-figure packages, doubled 27 salaries, tripled 17. We have double salaries in the same job. We have double salaries in the same organization because they know who they have. The woman didn't know her value. They know what they got. They know your value. You don't know your value. So they're paying you at the level of your awareness. So you don't need another degree. You don't need to reskill. You don't need to do all these things. Simply own how great you already are. That's it. That's it. That's what we do. Ain't nobody getting no degrees. Nobody's getting certifications over here. I teach women how to own how great they already are. Now, number 2, what I just went over, number 1, if y'all missed the beginning, y'all watch the replay. The market doesn't determine your value, you do. Number 2, don't look for a job, look for the job. Now this is going to be good. Y'all got y'all pen and paper. I hope y'all writing this down. I was talking to a senior military leader yesterday, actually, about job searching. And we get it twisted, right? He got 26 years in the game. And I'm like, oh, God. He could probably go and check 100 boxes. I said, but what's the one that you want to do, though? He went, why? I said, no, what's going to make you happy? Right? What's like, yo, most of the people I talk to are Gen X and some millennials, right? I got some, yeah. How long y'all been working for money is my question. How long y'all been working for things? Thinking that the things will make you happy. Thinking that if I get this job, then I can get this house and I'll be happy. Thinking that if I get this job at this pay and I get this car, I'll be happy. Now you leaving your house, sad and depressed, driving a European car, sad and depressed, going to get a Fendi purse, sad and depressed, complaining about your job. Looking for another job. Overqualified, underpaid, undervalued, and abused. I said I wasn't gonna make no more lives like this. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Maybe I should hang up. I said I wasn't gonna be talking like this no more. I'm trying to evolve the conversation. Now, here's the thing. If you could have and understand how great you are and own how great you are and own your unique selling proposition that you've garnered over the past 15, 20 years of your work and package that and tell people this is who I am, they'll pay you for it. My God. Right. So I'm gonna share another tip because y'all don't believe me. I don't know why people don't believe me when I be talking. So I just have to show y'all my clients because this is what we do. Ain't nobody playing over here. I'm gonna show y'all this one. April 29th, 2024 for the people on Instagram. Let me read it. I increased my total comp from 289 to 420. This company laid off thousands. I mean, people flying left and right. Don't. Pew. She focused on highlighting her full skill set and capabilities to draft a job description to bring more value to the company. While they laying people off, she was like, let me tell y'all what I can do. She took it to her manager. They agreed. Approval from both my manager and his manager. In turn, this equated to a compensation increase due to the scope of my new role and title that she wrote based on who she was. Thank you for reminding me of my work and speaking up in a business value way to get alignment and support from my managers. I was able to do this even with reorgs and layoffs happening left and right at my company. This company laying thousands. So I want to ask you, what makes you great? And what problems can you solve for a company that they haven't addressed yet? I mean, y'all work in these companies, y'all know they got issues. Y'all have seen the challenges. You've seen the thing that can be solved. Write a job description and say, this is how I can solve this problem, because they may be eliminating these roles while still having a need right here. Did y'all catch that? AI may be replacing these roles, but they still got problems over here of where you're uniquely qualified to fill it. Tell them and require more money for that. What is the value of solving these problems? That's the question, y'all. Now, the job. What is the job? What I want y'all to write down, if y'all have a pen and a piece of paper, I want you to write down what are your 8 requirements in your next role. And if you feel safe in your job right now, some lady wrote me telling Christy, I thought this job was my forever job. I was like, man, get out of my inbox. You can't be serious. You can't, like, we can't be in 2025 and you talking about a forever job. Like, I can't even take y'all serious. Let me stop. I can't take you serious. I thought this was my forever job, ma'am. What? So you're not caught off guard. Don't be safe. Whether you have a job or you don't have one, this information applies. Don't be over there acting safe. Don't be playing coy. What are your 8 requirements for your next role? How much? Do you want to work from home or do you want to go into the office? Do you want a flexible work schedule? Everybody don't want to work from home, right? Where do you want to live? Are you willing to relocate or are you not? Do you want to lead people or don't you want to lead people? Do you need your student loans paid off? What are your requirements? Then I want you to write down, what are your 4 deal breakers? What is somebody going to say when they say you got to move to Utah? You be like, I ain't doing that. Well, if you don't write that down, you're not clear and you're not looking. And the last thing is, what are your 4 flexibilities? Now, for my next picture, I'm going to put up the Chipotle menu. When you're looking for a job, you have to be specific. When you have your menu, y'all, when you know what you want, it takes the franticness out of the job search, because you know what you want, you know what you don't want, you've written it down, you're activating the law of attraction. This is what I want, this is what I don't want. I'm kind of flexible on these things. But when you just take a job, it's like being a star with 5 points trying to be shoved into a square box. And then you cry foul and say they harassing you. Well, you didn't really belong there. You shaved off the greater things that made you, the things that made you great, to fit into a box that was never meant for you. As opposed to understanding this is who I am and this is what I want. And then going to these organizations who will pay you for what you want because you're passionate. You're not just looking for a job. You're like, I got all these things. I have all of this experience. And I'll come in here and I'll solve your problems. And they will open the door and roll out the red carpet for you. So it's like, I want y'all to be as specific as you are in your Starbucks order and your Chipotle order. If you walk into Chipotle and say, give me something delicious, that's just like, I'm looking for a job. What kind of job? Any job. Why? I'm desperate. Okay, Chipotle, give me something delicious. They're going to be like, ma'am, do you want the burrito, a burrito bowl, a salad, or a taco? They're not going to choose for you. This is your specific desire. I like a burrito bowl. Give me a burrito bowl, please. Exactly. They should be lucky to have you. My mentality. Exactly. But they should be lucky to have you when you know who you are. Now, here's the thing about these memes that be like, you can train people's skills, just give good people a chance. Now, that's a great post for engagement. Companies ain't listening to that. Ain't nobody gonna, just because you nice and you need a chance. No, tell me how you can solve my problems. Ma'am, do you want a burrito bowl, a salad, or a taco? Right? Now, do you want the chicken, the barbacoa beef, the steak, carnitas, veggie, or the sofritas? I mean, y'all got to be specific on what you want. What do you want, y'all? Be specific and be specific. Write the vision, make it plain, as the Bible says. What do you want? Because if I'm a pescatarian, I love fish. I used to love chicken. Chick-fil-A might convert me back. But it's like, if you put chicken on my burrito bowl, that is a deal breaker for me. I don't eat chicken anymore. I'm leaving. I'm pissed. You can't make me eat chicken. Now, when you're going into an organization, and that's the thing about writing down what you want, if I already know when they call me and I'm looking, this job is going to be chicken, I don't want that. I can go and search and be more strategic in my search as opposed to just being out here. I can be more strategic in my search, and maybe I'll be able to negotiate that. Well, can you take the chicken off though? I mean, I ain't as like discussing the chicken if it touches the rice. If you can pluck all the chicken out of there, I might be able to do that. Maybe that's a flexibility for you. Does this make sense to y'all? Put yes in the chat. Am I talking too high level? I'm trying to bring it down to the Chipotle menu on just getting clear on who you are and what you want. I want y'all to write down and be very specific. Write the vision, make it plain. Don't just say, I want a job. What type of role do you want? What kind of job do you want? How much? Don't leave it to chance. How much? And if you don't know, double it or at least make 30% more. If you've been overworked, underpaid, and undervalued for the past 5 years, you're not claiming your full value and they're not paying you. You can't keep getting mad. Now, here's the thing. I talked to this woman on my live event, which it's a virtual event, which I'm having tomorrow, actually. Y'all can go to awakentoyourv3.com. Y'all can join me tomorrow. You can get the link in my bio or the link in the visit my website on LinkedIn if y'all are there. And so she was mad and defeated. At the bottom of the ground, dragging the bottom of the ocean, right? And so when people be talking and they ask me a question, I go check their LinkedIn profile because that's what I do. That's what the hiring manager is going to do. Have you told people how great you are, not just on the paper, but on LinkedIn? I see these people on LinkedIn who are crying foul about they can't get hired. Their LinkedIn profile ain't even complete. So y'all let me know if y'all have any questions. Y'all want people to feel sorry for y'all. Now you will get 2,000 sympathizers. You will get people who will give you advice, but you ain't gonna get no job because your LinkedIn profile is not complete. Let me stop. Anyway, the lady was dragging bottom, and I looked at her LinkedIn profile. Y'all, she had the same job title for 25 years. She had the same job. Now she went 8 to 10 different places and had the exact same job for 25 years. I said, ma'am, I ain't sugarcoating nothing. You 50 trying to get a job that a 25-year-old can do. You don't belong there anymore. Don't cry foul. You have 25 years of experience. Because she talking about ageism and they don't want me. I'm a Black woman. I coach the wide spectrum of diversity, but I'm a Black woman. They don't want me. I'm ageism. I said, no, ma'am, this is what you do. When you go to these law offices, which is where she worked, You tell these law offices, look, I've been in the game for 25 years. Okay. I have seen it all in 10 different offices. I know the people who are going to be late. I know the lawyers who are going to make it. I know the lawyers who are going to burn through it. I know the lawyers who are going to get drunk. I can tell you who's going to get in trouble first. I can tell you who's going to be out of here first. I can tell you people who are loyal. I can tell you they're going to stay. I can solve your problems before you even know they're coming up. I've been in the game 25 years. I've seen it. I've done it. 10 different offices. I've seen commonalities and patterns, and I'm bringing that to you. And this is how much I'm going to require for my intellectual property and my experience and my awareness to help you solve your problems before they even get started. I can keep you out of lawsuits. I've seen it go bad. I've seen it go good, but I've seen it mostly go bad. Things that you're not even aware of, things that you can't even predict. I've seen the patterns. I've seen the patterns. I can help you with that. It just like that. Boom. She didn't want to hear that. I don't know what she's doing right now. Did she take that and run with it? I would have took that ball and ran it into the wall. Do you hear me? She's seen it all in 25 years. Do you know how much value that brings to an organization to help them solve their problems before they even know that they got one? She can call it out because she's seen it. She's an expert. She's not a scrub. She's not an old scrub. She's not a washed up scrub. She was just applying for jobs that were no longer in value of the experience that she had. And not claiming how great she was and not claiming to be an expert had her deflated over there telling a woe is me story with her friends buying her drinks and eating empanadas and nachos, and she wasn't solving the right problem. So I'm offering you this because have you taken accountability for how great you are? Do you know how great you are? And if not, that's the problem to solve for. 1, 2, then take that greatness and say, this is how much I'm required for it. These are the 8 things that I require. These are the 4 things I'm flexible on. Well, I wanted 100% remote, but I'm willing to come into the office 3 days a week. If you're willing to do that. All right. Y'all say I got to travel 300 days a year. I ain't doing that. Deal breaker. All right. I'm willing to travel once a quarter. I'm willing to come into the office once a quarter. I'm willing to come into the office every day. I'm trying to get away from my husband and my crumb snatcher kids. They're getting on my nerves. They beating on the door all the time. I don't want to be in the house. Do you have something in the office? Whatever floats your boat. Do you need to spend more time with your teenagers? So Florilla, whatever her name is, ain't out there raising your kids, influencing kids because you're working 80 hours a week. Is that important to you right now? One more story, and then I'm gonna show y'all something else. Y'all don't have no question. I was talking to one of my former clients who was one of my mentees, and we're talking about her job. Amazing. And I was like, this job is so beneath you, but whatever, I'll rock with it. Well, I mean, I don't know why whatever. And it's a phenomenal, exceptional job for most people, not for her, but whatever. If you want to go get a job because they told you that, fine. Talk to me in 3 years. But let's talk about why you chose this specific organization. And so we're talking about it because it had to be a reason. And for that amount of time, and she said it's because her daughter's 12 or 16. I said, oh, okay, yeah, you need to be in the house with your kid. This organization allowed her to, even though she had to commit for a little bit longer, it allowed her to be at home more for her daughter in those shaping years. I think she's like 15 and 16. She's a teenager. I said, oh, okay, yeah, you're going to need that for the next 3-4 years. So you can nurture her and shape her on her way out. So what is great for other people may not be great for you. So I want to offer that to y'all while y'all are thinking about what's your flexibilities and what are your requirements. I want y'all to come into the moment because this organization may have been her dream job, but this organization was more aligned with what she needed so she can take care of her household and not lose her house while she's going for a job. Who do you bring your idea if you have an idea to level up your current job at your company? What strategy do you use to test if they're even amenable? I'm gonna ask the question. I'm gonna read it out loud for y'all. Who do you bring the idea to if you have an idea to level up your current job at your company? And what strategies do you use to test if they're amenable to the idea? One, you take it to the decision makers. Is the decision making in your chain, or is it outside of your chain? And if it's outside, then you need to be able to I mean, I ain't gonna say be discreet, but if you're bringing it over here, maybe you can ask for, is there any flexibility over here? We've changed it. We've leveled up and double, actually triple salaries in the same organization because they ended up jumping, but it has to be a solid jump. But if it's in your chain, then you take it to your manager, like my client did. She took her to her manager and said, this is what it is. And you won't know if they're amenable to it until you ask. If they say no, don't take it personal. If y'all ask for a raise, and if they tell you no, don't be mad, just be informed. Okay, then you go look for somebody else who's going to pay your value. Right? You don't get mad, you're just not informed. A lot of women never really ask because they're afraid that they're going to make somebody mad, and they expect and hope and wish, and then go into the promotion conversation or the end of the year. Y'all just had them in December. The performance conversation, and be like, what you gonna give me? They'd be like, nothing. You didn't even ask. You didn't make a requirement. That's a different conversation. I got that how to ask for a raise on my YouTube channel. Y'all go check that out. I did a whole podcast on that. So yes, to the woman who just asked me. Like, here's the thing about, and this is my third point, when y'all going on these sabbaticals and these medical leaves. Number third point is take care of yourself, right? So number one is the market doesn't determine your value, you do. Number two, don't look for a job, look for the job. Look for the job that's going to pay you and allow you to bring your whole self. Your whole, they will pay you for this if you can explain how it solves their problem, point blank period. You bring your whole self into the office. Not playing small, not playing safe. There are jobs who will pay you to be this if you can explain to them how this solves their problem. And don't put yourself on clearance when you ask for your money to try to play safe. Well, okay, I want a $10,000 raise. And they'll tell you no because they know that the value that you bring is actually worth another $200. They'd be like, no, but we'll give you a couple pencils. And you'd be like, I take it. If you don't ask for enough, people don't take you seriously. But don't shoot high like a woman that was on one of my virtual events was like, oh, I told my company if they didn't give me this money, I was going to quit. And they called her bluff. I was like, but did you have any jobs? She was like, no. I said, that was crazy. Y'all out here listening to these. I don't know who y'all listening to. I ain't even going to go there. But it's like, you can't be like, I got 3 jobs lined up and don't actually have 3 jobs lined up. And then come in there and they call your bluff. Now you sitting over there looking crazy, and they looking at you like you crazy because you lied. Y'all don't have to lie on how great you are. My job just went through a transition for the 3rd time, dumped a bunch of additional responsibilities on me with no increase, talking about opportunity for growth. I'm on my way out. Ma'am, you should have said no. Did they? Like, you can say no, you know. Here's the thing. You didn't give any pushback to that because you needed a job. And you want to quit without telling them why. They don't want you to leave. I had a client who, I guess this is just open up into a Q&A. I had a client who, once we got her clear, because she was crazy and stressed out and overwhelmed and all the things that I'm going to talk about. And once we got her clear, her company wanted to give her 3 jobs. I went off. I mean, all caps OFF, right? Like Linda going on maternity leave and Jeff just left. Can you take their jobs? Once we get you clear on who you are, we show that you don't have to work as hard. She actually worked 70% less and made the same amount of money. Now they wanted to come in and give her additional capacity. And I said, if you want to take it, let's talk about how you take it. Right? Let's talk about how you take additional responsibilities. I don't have enough room to show you all my testimonials, but it's like, I'll give you her and then I'll give you another one and then I'll get to number 3. We said, okay, well, if I'm going to take these responsibilities, this is what I'm going to need. It was an office. I'm going to need 2 additional I don't know the roles because I'm not a lawyer person, but I'm gonna need 2 assistants, right, with this amount of expertise and experience to be able to so she can be the leader of the work. She doesn't have to do the work. So we asked for 4 people. If you want me to do these two people jobs, I'm willing to do it at this level, at this pay, but now I'm going to require you to let's get it in writing, because this is what the structure has to look like in order for me to take that. I'm gonna need 4 more people. Whatever the lawyers are that have like 3 to 5 years experience, I'm gonna need 2 of them, and I'm gonna need 2 of the clerks or whatever you call them. And then they said, okay. My other client, when they said, hey, Tony done left, will you take his job? She was like, no. Because she knew who she was. She knows she could pick up her bed and walk at any time. And she knew that they needed her, but she also knew that she could pick up her bed and walk. She was like, no, I ain't doing that. And then they said, please. And she said, okay, so for how long? This is the conversation. As long as it's temporary, because she liked not working as hard. Once we stop y'all working hard, we ain't doing that no more. They said for 90 days. She said, okay, for 90 days. Okay. All right, I'll do it for 90 days, but y'all gonna have to add a 30% increase in my base pay. They said, okay. They said, okay, so fast. She got mad because she said she should have asked for 50%. So we've all fallen for the okie doke of take this person's job, but you can also say no. My client 2 weeks ago, when her boss called her when she was traveling, said, I need you to do this. She said, no, that's not my job. And they said, okay. And they went and gave it to another sucker. So if you stay ready, you don't have to leave. It's like, now let's have a conversation. If you want me to do that, this is what I'm going to require for that. And if they say no, then you go look for other roles and you come back and you negotiate with them and tell them this is why I'm leaving. And they be like, oh, we know it's going to make you quit because you've been doing that for 5 years. This ain't their first time asking you to do something. This ain't their first time dumping somebody else's work on you when you took it, hoping for a raise that you never asked for. Right? So did that make sense to you? For wifey, when getting an MBA, is that the time to start a new full-time job of leadership, or should I work less to ensure I do well in the program? One, you don't need that MBA. Stop getting all these degrees. I doubled a woman's salary who was in an executive MBA program in 2 months. She still ain't got that degree. That's my answer to that question. Get your money back. Y'all just wasting time. What is the MBA gonna do? It's not own your value and double your salary. I probably could have said that better. I'm sorry. But I'm not. Not in these times. Y'all ain't gotta get no more degrees. All these jobs that's open, job, please. We don't need an MBA no more. Y'all need to be going to get these degrees in AI. MBA is dead. Hey, AI is taking over. I don't even know why y'all still, because you checking an old box. That's an old antiquated box. That's an old box. That's some Gen X stuff. That's some Gen X. I need an MBA. Cut it out. MBAs are gone. Y'all need to be getting AI. If y'all ain't doing AI, we got to level up. All right, last question. I got to go because I got stuff to do today. Okay. Take care of yourself. Burnout. People ask me, actually, I don't think people ask me. I could just hear it in the wind. How can this lady claim to be a career coach, which I am, talk about burnout and talk about spirituality? Right? Because I do. Because I only teach what I am. Y'all been coaching before I knew coaching actually had a certification. I sat and listened in the room, listened to this lady talk about coaching in 2006. I said, wait, that's a thing? Wait, they call it something? I was in the military. We don't really speak corporate at the time. We can speak corporate language. I was like, wait, what? I can get paid for this? Man, I've been mentoring people since 2001. So when people are like, how long you been coaching? I've been reading self-help magazines since I was 12. This is who I am. I've always been this person. We just put a certification on it, and I put a phenomenal price tag on it to get all this experience and nerdiness. Great. Career coaching. I've gotten hundreds of men promoted. Before I even left my career, yo, this is actually my third thing. This is my second thing. I had a successful career in the Coast Guard. I've gotten people promoted, like retired at the senior levels. That's what I do. This is who I am. So that's not that hard. Burnout. Let's talk about burnout. I hear people talk about burnout recovery and, burnout and all this other kind of stuff from a PhD level. I actually burned out and burned my brain down to 2 atoms because I'm a winner and a champion. And I'm a workaholic. I like to win. Well, I used to be a workaholic. And I was working 80 hours a week. All the things that I'm saying to y'all and quote unquote judging y'all on, I did it. That's how I know what it looks like. High achieving women, we like to prove people wrong, right? We like to get past and prove people wrong and run through walls and push and push and push and push. And we push this barrier, if we check this box, if we get this job, we get this degree, then I'm gonna rest. We never rest. And I ran into a brick wall doing 150 miles an hour, burned my brain down to 2 atoms. I could not talk for a year. For a year. Y'all see how much I talk? I'm the biggest, nerdiest person you ever met. I could not talk for a year. So what I know for sure about burnout, right, and recovering from burnout, because a lot of y'all, what is scary to me, and this was in 2012, and I lost all my money, lost my mind. Then I couldn't make any money. I lost everything and moved in with my brother in South Carolina. And it took me 4 years to recover mentally, 7 years to recover financially, right? This is what is scary about what I'm seeing today in 2025. Yo, I know what crazy looked like. I did it. And I was in denial thinking that nobody could see that I was on fire because I was successful. Successful people can't tell people we're in trouble because nobody cares. Leaders can't tell people that we're in trouble because once I left the Coast Guard and I saw how many articles and so much ish that they talk about leaders on LinkedIn, leaders can never tell anybody that they're suffering. Black women can never tell anybody that we're suffering. Nobody really cares, especially if you're a leader. Leadership is lonely for just in general. Leadership for women is especially lonely. Leadership for women of color, leadership for Black women is suffocating if you don't take care of yourself. So I finally got up. And then it took me a couple of years. Actually, I really started talking about it in 2020 when y'all were locked in the house during COVID. I never really wanted to tell my story because I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. I never wanted to tell my story because all I really want to talk about is winning. And God was like, go help these women. And I was like, I ain't talking to women. And he didn't give me no money. So I said, okay, fine, Lord. Who do you want me to talk to again? I'll come out there. I'm thy faithful servant. I'm thy faithful and willing servant, Lord. So what's scary about today is that y'all have shifted in 2020 from the advanced stages of burnout to the critical stages of burnout. Burnout makes you irrational. Burnout, at a certain point, you're looking at yourself, seeing yourself doing stuff, and you can't stop yourself. It's because you're burnt out. Right? It's because you're smoked out. It's because you haven't slowed down to take care of yourself, and now you're afraid. And now the world is whirling. I mean, it's lighter fluid on like the amount of chaos that's going on right now. And the amount of women that I watch who smile on LinkedIn, which is astounding. I see these chicks in person. I'd be like, wait, was that a filter that you had on? Because I saw you. I saw you in person and you're suffering and your denial that anything is going on. And then I see you on LinkedIn is not the same person. When are we going to address the suffering? I know that you're suffering because I suffered and suffocated in my success. I know what it looks like. You can't hide from me. And it's okay to suffer. It's not okay to stay there. So burnout affects how you see yourself. Burnout affects how other people see you because you start to feel sorry for yourself. Burnout affects your in the critical stages of burnout, you have reduced cognitive ability. You can't negotiate if you have reduced cognitive ability. You can't really have a relationship with yourself and your family if your brain is squeezed, like you have reduced blood flow to your brain. Yo, I did it. No, I'm okay. I was not okay. It wasn't until I almost died that I was like this, fine. When I couldn't talk no more. what's the lady in the Bible whose husband didn't believe they can have a kid and God shut his mouth? Shut up. Talk too much. So recovery, and I was thinking about this morning. I think I'm gonna do a video on it, and I'm gonna piss off a lot of people. I don't care because y'all need help. I was thinking about y'all remember when California is on fire and you have the planes that go scoop up the water and then it drops the water onto the fire and and then it goes away. Fire did it. Yo, that thing just dropped what 2 tons of water. I wasn't supposed to be talking this long. Let me plug in my computer. That thing just dropped. Hold on. Here we go. That thing just dropped 2 tons of water on that fire and it didn't do nothing. So I was thinking, y'all, burnout, habitual burnout, which is where y'all are. How do you recover from burnout? You got to change your habits. Burnout isn't about breathing only. Burnout isn't about talking about your problems with your therapist. Burnout is not about reading a book. Y'all have read enough books. Y'all ain't doing nothing in them books. Burnout is about your habits. Burnout is about, and it ain't about your job, because you know what shows up in your job every day? Your habits of self-neglect. What shows up in your job every day? Your reluctance to finally stop and take care of yourself and work out and get some sleep. You know what shows up in that job every day? You beefing with your mama on something that she said 15, 20, 30 years ago. That's what burnout recovery is. Burnout recovery is forgiving your family. Burnout recovery is letting some stuff go. Burnout recovery is letting the story go that is holding you hostage that you haven't talked about. Burnout is you pouring from an empty cup year after year after year after year after year and hoping and wishing that and praying that somebody will come pour at the same level exhaustively that you do, and they have not. Burnout recovery is changing your mother phone number, okay? Like, I want to be clear. Did y'all hear me? Say yes. Burnout recovery is you have gotten people addicted to needing you, and you have gotten addicted to being needed, and now they sucking you dry like a vampire. And you over there looking like the Walking Dead, and they have not stopped asking. And you have not stopped pouring because you're addicted to serving to your demise. Burnout recovery is saying no. Burnout recovery is stop avoiding the pain. Address the pain and stop trying to go retail therapy to pain. So I was thinking about like a plane flying by and dropping water was like therapy. When I had a therapist, I had 3 before I left my career. Yo, the fire was enraged. Me talking about what was going on for 1 hour a week. How many hours in a week? What is it, like 1,280? I don't know. I used to know the number. That 1 hour that week in 1,280 hours in the week where I got to look at myself was not enough to save me. That's me reading a book for 30 minutes in the week. It wasn't enough. I want y'all to think about y'all's habits. And if I have to give you 3 habits, if you're burning out and you know you crazy, I probably could have said that better, but I didn't want to. 1, if you don't want to change your number, stop answering your phone. Stop trading stories on who had the worst week. Stop trading stories on what somebody did to you. Stop trading trauma. And reinvest that time to solving it, right? Same amount of time. Number 2, work out and get some sleep. Go for a walk, ride a bicycle, go for a walk, 30 minutes without the phone, without the news, without the music, without anything. And just reconnect with yourself. Understand what joy is. Understand what peace is. We forgot because HELL is normal, right? Some of y'all are caregiving for parents, caregiving for family members. Y'all got your crumb snatcher kids that's living with you, and you taking care of your parents, and then you're trying to be a leader at work, almost dying. And you think your job is like the only thing that's creating that. That's not true. It's you. Your neglect is what's creating your burnout. Your habits is what's exacerbating the burnout. And y'all have shifted. And y'all can chat GPT it. Y'all have shifted from the advanced stages to the critical stages where y'all are on fire. And the last thing is get some sleep. Right? Get some sleep. So I'm gonna show y'all my last because y'all don't be believing me when I be telling y'all stuff, which is okay. I got proof for days. It's whatever. 15 August 2024. I wake up 5 a.m. every day, do my affirmations, meditate, gratitude, morning walks, and listen to the various messages to keep me grounded and on track. This had to become a part of my routine, like brushing my teeth, to avoid the dip. And I noticed that once I started doing this, the fog in my mind lifted and everything started to change for the better. I now have 2 paying clients who their combined monthly fee amount is 4.5x what I was earning a month in my old job. I am fully remote and only work 3 days a week. Something to make you laugh. My old colleagues have reached out asking if they can work for me. And even my old boss wants to know why I am so relaxed. So my client went from making $500,000 a year to $200,000 a month. A Black woman. I don't have to say that, but I have to say that because every time I'll be talking about women, Black women, y'all count yourselves out. I don't understand that, right? She was so mad that she got laid off. So, hot. Finished the program, right? It's 4 months. It ain't that hard. But she was so mad, even though she had done the work and I love her, she was still mad, feeling that they did her dirty as a Black woman for her job. And I was like, man, let that story go and take care of yourself. She thought I was full of it. Fine. But once she started to take care of herself, she did her affirmations, she meditated, she went for walks, and she listened to something positive. Once she made it a part of her habits, once she made it a part of her daily routine, like brushing her teeth, the curtains opened up. She went from the critical stages of burnout to the advanced stages of burnout to the lesser stages of burnout. And people said, my God. Now, let me tell you something. God don't give you what you want. He gives you what you have room for. Some of y'all ain't got room to make more money because you're holding on to stuff that don't belong. Once you start taking care of yourself, the blessings come to you. $500,000 a year to $200,000 a month. 3 days a week, 100% remote. And her colleagues now want to come work on her team. So we were talking about her making $2 million a month. Not even working, just by employing her colleagues. So this was last year, last August. How many months ago was that? 8 months. No. Yeah, 8 months. So I'm going to close. Here's the thing. The only thing that has changed is your belief that something good can happen to you. The only thing that has changed is your awareness of how great you are. And the more you engage in negative conversations, you're not able to see how great you are. You're not able to claim how great you are. The more you engage in all the limitations and the limiting conversations, and they're pervasive. They're pervasive on LinkedIn, and all the fighting and let's fight, and fighting ain't getting you nothing. Now I was the queen fighter. That's how I ended up on my brother's house. I don't recommend it. I used to fight everybody. You don't have to fight. You just need to learn how to flow and how great you are. Once you claim how great you are, people will pay you for it. Once you own how great you are and you're able to clearly articulate how great you are, how much money you want, people will pay you for it. You don't have to fight. Black women don't have to keep fighting. Ain't y'all tired? If y'all was fighting before 2020, you start fighting in 2020, 2021, like y'all ain't tired yet? Fight, did fighting get you anything? Because if fighting got you nothing and nowhere but crazier and more tired, it's time to put your gloves down, sis. It's time to put your gloves down. You can't keep fighting and claim to have all these medical conditions. I had 27. You can't keep fighting and then be on medication. My therapist wanted to medicate me. I cussed him out. I was like, I ain't doing that. And then mentally fell apart. You can't keep fighting and then have an emotional support dog. Yo, just put your gloves down. Because when you're fighting them, you're not looking at how great you are. So I'm going to put my link in the chat. Y'all can check out what I got going on. I got a lot going on. I never really talk about what I got going on. So I have this thing tomorrow. Y'all can apply to work with me in my my March 31st cohort Vision Finder Masterclass. And then I have a resume course. I put my stuff on e-courses because I'm busy and I don't do resumes, but I can teach y'all how to write one. What's your question on Instagram? And it's $99. Like what? But Christy Rutherford's not cheap. So, and then I have a virtual event tomorrow from 9 to 12. My job has a gym in the building, still go while on leave. It's paid by my employer. Yeah, your colleagues want to see you. Y'all taking medical leave. You have to change your habits while y'all are on FMLA and medical leave. Otherwise, you're just going to go back and still be crazy. Like a lot of, I've talked to women who take medical leave and then y'all out there running errands and doing your honey-do list. You're not resting, so you're still crazy. I probably could have said that better, but I didn't want to. If you don't change your habits, you're going to go back and be the same person that you were when you left. If you didn't let anybody go, and if you didn't let anything go, if you didn't change the conversation that you're having with yourself, you just took a break from your job, but you didn't take a break from your habits. You didn't take a break from yourself and what you're doing that got you there. So that's all I got, y'all. So y'all can check me out, check out what we got going on over here. And what I really just want to encourage you to do is take control of your fate. The world is wide open of opportunities for you if you have the right mindset. And I hope that y'all choose to do something about it. Deuces.